So today, this subcommittee is focused on advancing legislation that will directly benefit consumers, small businesses, and our national security. We'll take action to help ensure the security of our domestic communications networks and those of our allies. We'll take steps to map our broadband internet networks and to free up more of our nation's airwaves. And we'll provide consumers greater transparency and consistency when it comes to their internet, phone, cable TV, or satellite TV bills. And we'll consider the reauthorization of the laws that govern our media markets. Now, I'm especially pleased, Chairman Doyle, that we'll be taking up my Secure and Trusted Communications Networks Act. This was introduced with Ranking Member Walden, Subcommittee Vice Chair Matsui, and Representative Guthrie. And our legislation will help protect America's privacy from the prying eyes of foreign governments and will help ensure that our communications networks won't be shut down by our adversaries. Our bill will prohibit the FCC's broadband subsidies from being used to support suspect communications equipment and services. And for suspect equipment that small carriers have already installed, we'll authorize a $1 billion program to replace it. It's hard to overstate the importance of this measure, particularly as reports of foreign surveillance and meddling continue to grow. We'll also consider the Network Security Information Sharing Act introduced by Representative Kinzinger and Chairman Doyle. This bill helps small carriers identify potentially suspect equipment or services before they buy and install it in the networks. And we'll discuss two important bills introduced by Representatives Loebsack, Latta, McEachin, and Long that will finally help us produce accurate maps of our broadband internet networks. For the better part of a decade, this subcommittee has tried to tackle the mapping problem, and we're finally going to do something about it. And their legislation, the Broadband Data Act and the MAPS Act, will be a critical step forward in finally connecting unserved and underserved Americans in rural, suburban, and urban areas. Additionally, Chairman Doyle and Ranking Member Latta have introduced the SHARE Act to help our federal agencies share their allocated spectrum with other agencies. This bipartisan bill will also require the National Telecommunications and Information Administration to study our nation's recent spectrum sharing successes to bring more innovative services to Americans. Unlike the spectrum provisions that were included in that other body's National Defense Authorization Bill for 2020, this bipartisan legislation has undergone a robust process of stakeholder engagement in this subcommittee before coming up for today's markup. And finally, I wanted to mention Chairman Doyle's Television Viewer Protection Act. His bill would extend the good faith negotiation provisions for transmission consent for 5 years, while allowing smaller cable companies to negotiate with large broadcasters collectively. Most important, this bill includes central provisions championed by Representative Eshoo to require more consistency and transparency in consumers' bills for communications services. Now, I know my colleagues here have different views regarding this reauthorization, but these provisions are expiring, and if we're going to address them, we must do it now. So in that spirit, I look forward to working together with my colleagues as we prepare to move to the full committee to discuss any concerns in the hopes of building bipartisan consensus on this bill. And in closing, we have 9 good bills, Mr. Chairman, before us today that are going to help consumers, and I would hope that they would receive the bipartisan support they deserve. And thank you, Chairman Doyle, again for having hearings on these and bringing up these important bills today in a timely fashion. Our committee's really doing a lot these days.
Yep.
In 3 subcommittee markups in 2 days, it's pretty good.
Best committee in Congress.
Thank you. I yield back.